Ellarigu Namaskara. I hope you all are doing good. Welcome back to the Little Things. I am Chaitanya. I have been creating Canadian PR related videos for quite some time now, and currently I am working on the IELTS video series. Now I've already created a 3 parts video for the IELTS writing test, and I was really happy when I got response from so many of you stating that you found it to be really helpful. So if you're someone new to the channel, then please check out that video as well, and also subscribe to the channel. Today's video is going to be a 2-parts video wherein I'll be sharing with you all the tips, methods, strategies that I use to get a score of 8.5 in my reading test of the GT module. Among the 4 test components of IELTS, reading test is my most favorite one. The reason being, the answers are there just right in front of you. All you got to do is search and find them. It's just like a game of treasure hunt. But trust me, once you get the hang of it, it's much more easier. So if you put in some efforts, then this is one such test component wherein you have higher chances of getting a perfect score of 9. Also, it's not like I was a pro at it from the beginning itself. In fact, forget scoring high, I couldn't even complete the test within the 60 minutes time limit. Doing n number of tests didn't help me either. So I started doing more and more research on this, and I came across some techniques and methods which I started practicing, and this drastically improved my score. From scoring in the 20s, I started scoring 35 and above, and also I could complete my test within the 60 minutes. So I would like to recommend the same to anyone who's finding it difficult to score well in reading test. Don't blindly do 100 practice tests. Don't waste your hard work. Rather, learn to handle this test in a smart way. If you're someone who's yet to start with your reading test preparation, then you can actually check whether these methods will work or not. Go ahead and take a reading test under exam conditions, no cheating allowed, and then correct your answers with all honesty. Even if you have written singular instead of plural, it's still going to be wrong, okay? And then note down your score. After that, watch this video, practice the strategies I'm going to discuss with you, and then give another reading test, and then compare your score. I'm sure you're going to see a lot of difference between the 2 scores. Let's first understand the exam format itself, as it's really important, just like a map in treasure hunt. Reading test has a time limit of 1 hour, within which you will have to complete your test. It will have 3 sections. Each section will have 12 to 14 questions, so there would be a total of 40 questions that needs to be answered by you. Each question carries 1 mark, and there is no negative marking, so please don't leave any question. Even if you don't know the correct answer, do give it a try. You will also have to write your answers on the provided answer sheet within that 1 hour. Unlike the listening test, you would not be given any additional time to transfer the answers. In case of a paper-based test, by the end of the exam, both the answer and question sheets would be collected from you. Now that we have understood the test format, let's have a look at the 3 sections. Section 1 usually contains 1, 2 or 3 short texts about life in an English speaking country, and could be, for example, an advertisement for a hotel, shop, sports center, etc. The texts are not long, are factual rather than descriptive. It's really easy to find answers in this section because the section will have information in the form of pointers or hardly 2 to 3 sentences in a paragraph. Section 2 usually contains 2 texts and will mainly focus on college or work related topics. The difficulty level will increase comparatively in this section, but still it is not very difficult. Section 3 usually contains 1 text with long and complex passages on a topic of general interest taken from books, magazines, newspaper, etc. and is the hardest one amongst the 3 sections. Now let's have a look at the methods and strategies that you need to keep in mind before getting started with the reading test and also during the course of it. Instead of going randomly, I would like to go in a chronological order so that it would be easier for you to understand how to go about this test. Do not read the entire text or passage. Now I know that it's a reading test, but please don't sit and read the entire text or passage because it will only be a wastage of time. I'll share with you all my personal experience about this. The first time when my husband and I started doing a reading test, we couldn't even complete one section in 30 minutes of time. This is because What we did is first we read the entire passage and then went to have a look at the questions, and by the time we came back to search the answers, we didn't remember anything about whatever we had read in the passage. So reading the entire passage is a complete waste of time. For example, consider this passage from section 3 of a reading test, which is about movies and shorts. Do you think you will have enough time to read this entire passage and answer your questions? Trust me, you will not. So please don't do that. But let me also tell you that there's a myth that you need not read the text at all to find answers for your questions. Now, of course, I did say that you need not read the entire text, but you still have to do some of the reading using some specific techniques, because at the end of the day, it still is a reading test. That brings me to my next 2 points about comprehension and retention. Comprehension. Do you have to understand everything that is there in the text? The answer is no. For example, have a look at this sentence. The Dutch tilt can depict a character in a state of psychological unease by shooting them from a jaunty angle. I don't know about you, but I really have no idea what they're talking about here. I don't know what a Dutch tilt is, nor do I know what is a jaunty angle. Although I don't know the exact meaning of these words, I can still understand that they are trying to depict someone to be in a state of psychological unease by shooting them from a jaunty angle, and this shot is Dutch tilt. So I'm sure if they ask a question about this, I can come up with an answer with my strategies. Retention. Do you have to remember everything that is there in the text? The answer again is no. Let's say in this passage they have spoken about some 10 different types of movie shots. Do you think you can remember all that information? No. Your job is to simply find answers from the text and not to read or understand or remember everything that is there. Now you might ask me, if we don't read the entire passage, understand or remember everything, then how are we going to find the answers? The answer to all these questions is skimming and scanning, which are two very powerful reading techniques. For now, let's see what skimming is. Skimming is reading rapidly to get a general overview or context of the text. So this should be the first thing you do. If you see this article, it's very evident that it is about a nuclear reactor and its components. You need not read the entire text in detail to understand this. Just a quick glance is more than enough. So once you're done with this, go ahead and read the instructions. Usually there would be specific instructions given in the beginning of a set of questions. Please read them carefully. It could be like, how many words and or number should your answer contain? For example, if it says complete the sentences below, choose 1 or 2 words from the text for each answer, then all the answers for that specific set of questions should be of 1 or 2 words length. Some could be 1 word answers or some could be 2 word answers. That's okay. In case if it says choose 2 words and or a number from the text for each answer, then your answer should contain 2 words. It may or may not have a number. Another instruction could be for you to choose 2 correct answers. If you don't read carefully and choose just one, even then you will lose marks. For example, if the question is which are the components of a nuclear reactor, then you will have to choose both fuel and coolant as the answers. Also, there's a difference between yes, no, not given and true, false, not given questions. Instead of yes, please don't write true. Instead of no, don't write false. One more thing would be, if the question is choose either option A, B, C or D, then your answer should also be either A, B, C or D. Don't write the actual word as cat or numbers instead, like 3 or Roman numerals. So it's really important for you to understand the instructions correctly and then to find your answer. If not, you will definitely lose some marks. After this, read the questions. Now here you can read a couple of questions or just a single question. It's really up to your comfort. Personally, I like going question by question and then identify the type of question. There are more than 10 kinds of questions that can come in a reading test. So first figure out whether it's matching headings, sentence completion or multiple choice question. And then remember your technique and tips for that question type. For every question type, there are certain strategies that you can use. The book that I had recommended in my IELTS story video, Barons, it has numerous such strategies and tips. So do remember that. Next, find a keyword in the question. For example, you have skimmed the text and have got to know that it is about different states of India. And if the question says, in which state of India is Bangalore located, then your keyword would be Bangalore. We all know how short our attention span is, and the next steps that I'll be sharing with you are the most crucial ones. So let's do one thing, take a short break, refresh and relax, and come back to watch the next part of this video. If you have liked the video so far, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I shall see you in the next part of this video.